Hello, I am practicing attorney Ugo Lord.
And I'm Mike Mandel, also a practicing attorney. Why do you get to go first? It makes it sound weird when I say it.
And today's segment is called Devil's Advocate, where Mike and I will go head to head to debate some of the most heated legal topics.
But today it should be called Devil's Lettuce, because we'll be debating the green stuff, the herb, the Mary Jane.
Just tell them already.
Today's topic, should marijuana be legalized in all US states? Maybe act a little like stoned if you can.
I've never been stoned before. What does a stoned person act like?
I don't know what he's talking about, neither have I. I'm just saying based off movies.
And as always, to keep things fair, we'll be leaving it up to fate to decide which side we're gonna argue.
Ugo, what are you on?
I'm not on anything, Mike. Mind your business.
Whoa, all right.
I will be arguing anti-legalization of marijuana in the United States.
Which means I will be taking the position of pro-legalization of marijuana nationwide.
Prepare to be toasted.
Prepare to get zooted, schmacked.
What?
You know if you know.
Marijuana is still classified as a Schedule I substance under federal law, with good reason.
Aside from the economic benefits and criminal justice reform opportunities, marijuana legalization is a case of individual liberty and personal freedom.
Under federal law, cannabis is still considered to be a Schedule I substance under the Controlled Substance Act. And we know that this is causing confusion between the state as well as the federal government. So how do you respond when people say that this confusion is resulting in different types of regulations for different states?
My response is simple, Ugo. Legalize it, and then there's no conflict. Look, Ugo, federal laws need to adapt to the changing times and respect state rights. The trend is already going that way, which is why we need to legalize it. I mean, almost every state has legalized it in some form or fashion. Even the Department of Justice has taken a hands-off approach. So if the federal government isn't even enforcing it, then why do we have this law? How do you respond to the comparison of marijuana legalization with that of alcohol and tobacco? With these products, age limits are set and consumers are made aware of the dangers. Yet they have the personal choice whether or not to use a product. Couldn't the same be done for marijuana?
Well, Mike, it's better the devil that you know than the devil that you don't. Because the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, that there's so much research when it comes to tobacco and alcohol. We're talking about decades of evidence. We do not see the same thing when it comes to cannabis. Now we know that cannabis causes cognitive issues, respiratory issues, and even mental disorders, but we don't know the long-term effects of cannabis use. Therefore, consumers are not fully informed when they are consuming cannabis the way that they are when they're consuming alcohol. And you talked about the dangers, Mike. We saw that when it comes to dangers, we saw a 62% increase of marijuana-related fatalities on the road in Colorado after it was legalized, and we have to keep our roads safe. Now, we've seen this increase of drug driving, which increases the threat and risk to the public's safety. Wouldn't we be able to save lives by just maintaining marijuana's illegal status nationwide?
So does that mean we should ban all alcohol to avoid drunk driving? Come on. The solution is to focus on impairment, not banning marijuana altogether. We should handle this just like we handle alcohol. It should be about protecting the safety of other drivers, not just the fact that you have it, which means that you don't have to completely make it illegal. How do you respond to the significant cost savings and less stress on our criminal justice system if less people will go to jail for non-violent marijuana crimes?
Okay, fine, you'll have less people in jail, but you'll have more impaired people on the roads. You'll have more high people at work, and you'll have more kids that will be exposed to marijuana at younger ages, because the fact is that if it is legal, then it will become more socially acceptable, and if it's more socially acceptable, then young kids will have more access to it. At the end of the day, if you want to focus on criminal justice reform, then perhaps we should focus on educating our youth about the effects of marijuana. Perhaps we should focus on educating our communities on substance abuse issues. Better education leads to reduced poverty rates, and reduced poverty rates leads to less incarceration. Drop a comment if you feel like I'm clearly right on this one.
Or clearly wrong.
Well, listen, Mike, how do you respond to the negative health effects of marijuana use, including cognitive issues, respiratory issues, even mental health disorders, especially those that affect our youth?
2 words, Hugo. Age restriction. Schools can educate students about the harms of using marijuana just like they do for other things like alcohol, cigarettes, your TikTok videos.
And TikTok videos are not harmful.
Yeah, they are.
They're harmful to your statistics, Mike.
Oh. Also, let's talk about the health effects of tobacco and alcohol, both of which are legal. Alcohol and tobacco are known to cause cancer, heart damage, liver failure, and more. According to the CDC, 6 people die from alcohol poisoning every day, and there has never been a recorded incident of someone dying from marijuana. People are going to use cannabis anyway. Legalization allows for the regulation of marijuana products, which leads to more consumer safety and quality. How do you respond?
Great! So now we'll have stronger, more higher quality drugs out in the streets for people to potentially become addicted to. The fact is that if you have an addictive-like personality, marijuana is absolutely a substance that you can in fact get addicted to. And if this marijuana is now more readily available to the public, that means that the public will now be able to access it easier, increasing the potential that they can become addicted to it. And the last thing that we need in this country is more addictions.
You sound like the people trying to ban TikTok.
I object! So Mike, how do you respond to the whole gateway drug theory, which says that cannabis is a pathway to use more harder and dangerous drugs in the future?
Oh, Ugo, you're talking about correlation, not causation.
Do not touch me.
Just because hard drug users may have used marijuana in the past doesn't mean it caused them to use those hard drugs. It's a classic case of correlation, not causation. And there are other factors that may cause people to use hard drugs, like addictive personalities and social environments. And if you want to get technical about it, people are more likely to use alcohol and tobacco before they ever use marijuana. So what's the real gateway drug? Huh, Ugo?
No, Mike, why are you asking me? I've never done anything in my life. Well, I've done alcohol.
How dare you? We should make it illegal like we do for marijuana.
Don't take away my Moscato.
Marijuana is a natural substance, and people have used it for centuries. What authority do we have to police something that grows from nature?
Just because it grows from nature, Mike, doesn't mean that it is safe. Poison grows naturally. There are a lot of things in nature that grow naturally, but it's still the government's job to make sure that the people do not abuse it, and most importantly, society in general is safe. So consequently, the government should still regulate marijuana despite whether or not it grows from a plant.
Now it's time for closing arguments.
Puff the magic dragon. Toke the devil's lettuce. Lighting a jazz cigarette.
No one calls it that.
This is my closing argument,
Sorry.
Michael. Sure, legalizing marijuana sounds all fun and fairy tales, but my opponent's argument goes up in smoke once you take a hit of logic. The last thing this country needs is more unfettered access to harmful products. Wasn't the KFC Double Down sandwich enough?
The KFC what?
They basically replaced the bread of the sandwich with 2 fried pieces of chicken. Anyway, high driving has spiked in areas where legalization has passed. Endangering your health is one thing, but endangering me while I'm in my car listening to the new Beyonce, Hello, is another thing altogether. We have an opportunity to take a step into a healthier, cleaner, safer future. A future where we do not have to worry about mind-altering drugs getting into the hands of our children. A future where we understand our duty to reduce harm when we can. A future when we are standing in line at Starbucks and the guy behind you is not taking a hit of his marijuana vape and blowing it at the back of our heads. That is the future that I want to be a part of.
My opponent's argument is as empty as a frat house bong at the end of a party. This is an argument of personal freedom. Adults have the ability to purchase and consume a number of products, from alcohol to tobacco, and yes, even the KFC Double Down. These products can result in negative health outcomes, accidents, and addictions far worse than any presented by marijuana. He neglects to discuss the impressive economic benefits created by marijuana legalization, along with the therapeutic relief it provides to those with chronic illnesses. At the end of the day, those who want to use marijuana will find a way to get it, and somebody will be willing to sell it. Don't we want that somebody to be the safest, most reliable source? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I rest my case.
Oh my God, that was aggressive.
Thank you for watching me wipe the floor with my opponent, and hopefully still good friend, Ugo.
I trust that the people will decide correctly. Who do you think won this debate? Comment below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, because if you don't, we will take legal action.
I'm aggressive as well.
Yes.